Pricing your therapy services can feel really weird or make you feel really uncertain about your business and saying like, "Oh, can I really do this? And what should I charge?" There's a lot of uncertainty around it and can have you second guessing yourself quite a bit. Well, I'm here to talk about how you can really charge premium for your therapy services and share with you a few steps on how to do it. My name is Huang. I'm an OT, CHT, and when I started my business over 10 years ago, I really struggled with pricing my therapy services. I just wasn't sure what was right. And I went to the market and I was like looking around and saying, who else is charging? And without understanding their business model and without understanding the kind of life that they were really looking to carve for themselves, I essentially was copying people. And I didn't really have a full understanding of how to charge premium or how a whole pricing strategy can really make or break a business. And that's really what I want to share with you today. If you're an occupational therapist and you want to open your own therapy business, pricing and pricing premium is going to be really important for you to grow your business. And I want to share with you what I've learned over the past over 10 years. Because when I first started, I was looking around and I was copying other people, and it made me feel really uncertain about myself because you're almost putting like this dollar on yourself. Like, so this is what I'm valued at, right? But when you're first starting your business, you have a hard time breaking away from this idea like I make this much an hour because you're trained on this like I make this much an hour. But in business, there are so many ways to charge, and I have learned that when you charge premium, it can really say a lot about your business, and it allows you to just grow and allow you to do so much more in your business the way you may want to grow your business. So let me share some of that with you. And this could be like, I'm a hand therapist and I run an outpatient therapy clinic, but I think this can help any occupational therapist, whether you are in pediatrics, doing mobile care, doing geriatrics, outpatient, whatever it is that is your specialty. I believe you really can charge premium. I want to encourage you to as well. So when you charge premium, you actually can subconsciously tell people about your level of expertise in your specialty. I think that premium really does denote that level. Like, nobody is saying, I'm an expert of this and I have spent my years, my time, my money to become this level expert and only charge the cheapest prices, you know? And I want you to take a look at what else is going on in your world and what you value, because sometimes it's hard to consider that if we're not somehow immersed ourselves into other areas of our lives that where we consider or we would consider premium, or we would consider like something as a specialty, right? I usually, when I think about specialties, I think about like surgeons. um, and when someone is of a level of expertise, like what does that, what are they doing or saying that makes them an expert, right? And usually they're at the top places. You're not finding them, um, you know, like surgeons, you're not finding them in like a rundown shopping mall. You know what I'm saying? You're finding surgeons, and plastic surgeons specifically is such a great example. If you're going to look at doctors and stuff like that, those who charge premium are able to set themselves up in a very nice office, versus ones that are not premium, right? And so, look around you and see like, see when someone says they're an expert, look at their prices. If you're an expert of something, your prices can denote, like, can say a lot about your level of expertise. And so that's why you can charge premium if you have a particular specialty. And I encourage you, like, I think there's another video that I've done on how to niche down and that kind of stuff. The second thing that when why you should charge premium is also when you say you're the best, your prices reflect that you're the best, or it could reflect that you're not the best, right? So if you've ever, and it's very much on a subconscious level, um, if you've ever seen, think about any product, right? Think about any product. I sort of think about, I always talk about hotels. You can say at a lot of different types of hotels, right? You can say at the cheapest hotel, or you can say at the most expensive hotel. And then, of course, there's tons of chains that are in the middle, right? But what does that say to, you know, when you're looking at prices, when you look at something and it's so cheap, yeah, you can sleep in the cheapest place because you're just kind of looking to sleep, right? But when you go and you stay at a very nice premium hotel, what does that say about you? What does that say about how it makes you feel that you're staying at the best place, or that um, that certain aspects of service are available to you? So I want you to encourage you to sort of think about that and what it's saying about you, right? So your prices will tell people about um, your level of not just expertise, but like whether you're the best or not. If you're saying you're the best, you can't be the best and the cheapest, right? If you if you think about anything you've ever done, and you've done like price comparisons, right? We've all done that, price comparisons. Usually the cheapest is never subconsciously considered the best, but the higher prices are usually considered the best. So prices do say a lot about you, and I want you to consider charging premium if you are considering yourself to be the best, because it's not that the money is coming into you and then like you're just like, oh, it's all mine. In order to be the best, you need to have the certain amount of revenue to come in that to help to you to sustain to be the best, right? Because as therapists, we're always learning new skills, from business skills when you start and run a business, to clinical skills, that you want to stay on top of like what is going on, what is going to really help your patients get the best possible results. And we need money in order to take more classes and do more things that's going to level up our business so that we can continue to be the best, right? So, why you want to charge premium is so if you're saying you're the best, your prices match that ideology, right? And then I think the third one, why you can charge premium, is pricing needs to fit with your business model that you want to you're creating for yourself, essentially. Do you want a model of a one-on-one, or do you want a model of a one-to-many? So people who do one-to-many don't usually charge premium because they want the volume with the least amount of effort, right? But then you are working there with, you know, multiple patients at a certain time, and so you're getting the volume and you're not be able to give the level of service that you want. So if you're a one-to-one business model, then your prices need to reflect that business model in order for you to be sustainable. If you do any kind of mobile service, your time going there and coming back, and then the time of treatment, right, needs to have a charge that fits that. So you don't want to think, oh, well, I make this much an hour, and so I will just double my rates, and that, or three times my rate. It almost needs to be 10 times your rate, because you're spending so much time in the front end, the back end, and then during. All right. There's wear and tear, there's bringing equipment with you. And you are in a one-on-one business model. So your prices need to reflect all that is included for them. If you're working in a certain place and they are getting that one-on-one service, there's a lot of front end and also back end services that you're providing. It's not just a therapy. I'll give you an example. We spend a lot of time talking and getting to know people on the front end before they become clients and patients of ours, right? And then on the back end, we also spend time and sharing things with them and making sure they have everything that they need. So there's a lot of time and effort put into that 1 hour. So don't think that you're providing therapy for someone for just that 1 hour. The premium pricing that you're charging is to support that business model, because if you don't charge correctly, you will be out of business in a very short period of time, right? So those are really the three main things that you want to consider. So that is an important consideration when you're thinking about creating your prices for your services. So it denotes your level of expertise. It says, something about your skill level, like, or your practice, right? If you're the best, then you need to be priced for the best. And then third really is your business model. Does it support your business model? And so I want to encourage you um, to embrace the why you should charge premium prices, and not just like look at other people and say, okay, well, I'm going to charge that, right? And here's how you would go about doing it. Like I said, I spent a lot of time getting to know people, right? Getting to know people before they come into my clinic. It's not necessarily me, but now it's my staff. Before it was me, when it was more just me, but now I have a team of people who help me. But it starts by having the right conversation and having it over and over again, right? So having the right conversations, and then you want to make sure that you have a follow-up system. We have a very rigorous follow-up system, and it's because a lot of times people aren't going to say yes at the beginning. Majority of the time, people are going to say no because they just don't. Well, first of all, it's just like automatic. Everything that you don't know, you're going to say no to, right? So if most people are indoctrinated to say, like, I have insurance, then um, they're going to automatically say no to you. So you want to have a follow-up system so that you can follow up with them as long as they give you permission to. Like, we have people who say no to us all the time, but give us permission to follow back up with them because they're willing to consider us if other things don't work out. And most of the time, because they're in a business model of one to many, and things don't work out. And so they're willing to come and pay for our premium services. Right? So a lot of people don't say yes right away. And a lot of people are not used to paying for therapy for the most part. I mean, most people consider therapy, it's not like you want to spend your money on therapy, it's because you need to spend your money on therapy. And then at some point, over time, if they have a good experience with you, they will want to spend their money because they know that they're getting great value from it. And most people aren't waking up and saying, like, I want to drop a couple of $1,000s on therapy, right? Nobody's saying that. But if something in their life is very painful, then they're going to be willing to pay for it, right? Most people are waking up planning their vacation. I mean, as therapists, I see lots of therapists like, oh, I'm just planning my next vacation, planning my next vacation. And no one ever thinks about, the quote unquote bad shit that's happening or could happen, and save for that rainy day. Most people aren't. And so most people live in a very, optimistic world. I'm going to buy a new car. I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to, spend, go out to eat at nice restaurants and, drink nice, beverages and stuff like that. Buy myself a great new purse, buy myself new clothes, right? No one ever thinks like, oh, therapy, I'm going to spend on my health and well-being. Like, most people aren't doing that. But there's going to come a time in their life where they may need us, and we're like, hey, I'm here, right? I'm here if you need me. And so that's the kind of attitude that you want to have, especially when you're going into business. Like, not everyone's going to need me today, but you're going to need me at some point in your life, right? Everyone at some point in their life is going to have some kind of aches and pains in their body, or something's going to go wrong. I'm not wishing for it. I just know that this shit happens, right? I don't wish bad on anybody, but I just do know that shit happens, and it might happen to someone, it might happen to it's happening to people in my family right now as we speak, right? bad things happen, and all I can say is like I'm here to, to help those people when they need me. But I have to stay in business for me to be here. So have great conversations with people. Your first phone call is one of the most important things. And then number two is have a really great follow-up system. And then the third one, I think that, how you can do it is from a mindset standpoint, is that just understand that people are going to say no and they're going to reject you, right? And you have to learn to be okay with rejection. I think OTs are some of the nicest people, and in our model system, and maybe based on your personality, the thing that draws you to therapy is because you want to help people. And so it can be really hard and painful to feel rejected over and over and over again. But I promise you, people will reject you regardless of your prices. They will reject you for $20, right? They will reject you for that copay. So I promise you that if they're going to reject you over and over and over for $20, they can reject you for your premium prices, whatever you decide your premium prices are going to be, right? So just realize that not everyone's going to say yes to you. And premium can feel really different for everybody. So I'm going to share, like, for some people, premium feels like let's say, let's talk about hotels again since we're on the hotel thing. Premium can feel like if you're so used to staying at some of the cheapest hotels, premium can feel like that next level up. Where for some people, they're so used to paying that for that middle grade. Um, let's say, so for some people, they're so used to staying at like cheap motels or Motel 8, right? Or a Holiday Inn. And usually those are, let's say, the cheapest. And so for them, premium could feel like I'm staying at a Marriott. And certain Marriotts are nicer, like let's say an autograph Marriott, right? So the nicer Marriotts, so that feels like such an upgrade. For the people who normally stay at a Marriott, which is, let's say, $300 a night, and those are your, 3-star or whatever hotels, and they're used to staying at those types of hotels, premium to them are going to be like a Four Seasons, um, um, a Ritz-Carlton, And so, I mean, Ritz-Carlton, it's like thousands a night, right? Versus like only 300 a night. You're talking about like $1,000 a night. So premium can feel different for different pockets of people. And it just depends on who you are looking to serve, because you cannot serve everybody. If you're looking to serve everybody, then you always have to go cheaper, 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 because you're trying to get to the volume versus going really high and making your services to a smaller percentage of people, but they're willing to pay the most amount of money. But there's a pocket of people, from a socioeconomic group standpoint, there's a pocket of people for everybody. And it's part of like who you decide you want to serve. Now, I don't think there's a wrong answer to anything that you're doing. The only wrong answer is the one where you make no money and you feel frustrated that you are not good in business, right? And then you give up. So that's the only wrong thing. When you first get started, you have a certain level. Like, I first started when I was copying someone else. I started at $75 an hour. I had no idea, like, I was gonna go broke charging that. It took me a couple of years to be like, oh my God, that pricing does not work. And I promise you, people were saying no to me back then, right? People were saying no to me back then. And then I started to realize that that wasn't going to keep me in business, and I started to incrementally. Then I started to raise my prices, not incrementally, but like by $50, $50, $50. And then the market tells you where it's sort of capped based on how many no's that you get, right? And then as you go and get more no's, you think, okay, how do I get better? How do I get better? Right? I've done this in my clinic. I've done this on my program side. where, when I first started the exam prep, I started really very low because I just, again, no matter how you move, how you could do it in one way, when you're doing something new, you almost feel like insecure and uncertain again. So I became, my clinic was, I was able to charge premium prices. But then on the program side, when I started something new, I was like, oh my God. And you know what? I still had someone come to me and say, no, your prices are too expensive. I still had people coming and bartering with me, not bartering with me, but like negotiating my rates down. And I'm like, dude, like I believe in fairness. If I'm charging somebody one thing, everyone's getting charged the same thing. Like you're not gonna come and negotiate me down and lower my prices, and then everyone else is getting charged, higher prices. So for me, it was more like I'm a big person when it comes to fairness, and I had this one person come and try to negotiate me down, and I was just like, I'm sitting here, I'm doing all this, and it doesn't matter what you're doing, but I had to really see my value and I had to see my worth, and I had to be like, no, thank you, but no thank you. Here's my prices. Um, and you either pay to be in the program or not pay, and so much it is about seeing what value you provide and doing what you say. So but if you are as an occupational therapist in business, I really encourage you to charge premium and to dive into deeper into how you can. And I just shared with you briefly the three things, but I know I have other videos here on my YouTube channel that talks very specifically about how you can charge premium step by step. All right, so I hope this video kind of helps you. Keep in mind how you can. Don't look at other people and compare and say, oh, what are you charging? So that you could feel it. Like, really get started with what you're uncomfortable with, right? So if you're comfortable saying 200 and you're uncomfortable saying 250, say 250, because then you're stepping out of your comfort zone and you're doing the thing that you need, because you're going to have to provide, you're already providing that level of service, and now that pricing allows you to keep doing it. Let me know if that makes sense. And if you have any follow-up questions, then just leave me a comment below. But I have some resources in the links below. So you want to grab my sign up for my email list just to receive business tips on Wednesdays, then the links below so you can sign up and receive even more detailed information that I share with people on my email list. All right, until next time, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.